oversees that entire region. You have confidence in him and you want him to stay.
I do have confidence in him. I think he did an outstanding job in Iraq, as our military generally has done outstanding work. What they need is a commander-in-chief who is thinking more strategically about how we deploy our resources to make America more secure. I look forward to working alongside our commanders and our troops on the ground in order to make sure that we are going after al-Qaeda, we're getting bin Laden, that we stabilize Iraq, that we create a situation in Afghanistan where this ongoing threat is not constantly coming back at us.
Senator McCain says he knows how to capture bin Laden, and he says, I'll get him if he's elected president. Do you know how to capture bin Laden?
Well, you know, I'm reminded of, he said this during the debate, and I think that night maybe, I think Jon Stewart on Comedy Central said, you know, why have you been holding out on us for the last 6 years? I mean, the fact is that along with George Bush, John McCain championed a strategy that distracted us from capturing bin Laden, that focused on Iraq, that had nothing to do with 9/11. And so clearly Senator McCain doesn't know how to capture bin Laden because he was supportive of a huge strategic blunder when it came to accomplishing the task. I will focus on what Secretary Gates and others have indicated is our #1 security threat, and that is bin Laden and al-Qaeda. We will go after him, we will kill him, or we will capture him, try him, apply the death penalty to him where is necessary. But that is the threat that we should have stayed focused on. That's the threat that I will focus on when I'm president.
How worried are you about the stability of the Pakistani government? Because it looks like al-Qaeda is going after the new leadership post-Musharraf in Islamabad.
Well, I'm concerned about it. This was one of the problems with our previous strategy. There was a lot of resentment that built up as a consequence of our support of President Musharraf there, who had squelched democracy. And now you've got a fledgling democratic government. We have to support their efforts to democratize. That means, by the way, not just providing military aid, it means also helping them to provide, you know, concrete solutions to the poverty and lack of education that exists in Pakistan. So I want to increase non-military aid to Pakistan. But we also have to help make the case that the biggest threat to Pakistan right now is not India, which has been their historical enemy. It's actually militants within their own borders. And if we can get them to refocus on that, then that's going to be critical to our success, not just in stabilizing Pakistan, but also in finishing the job in Afghanistan.
Let's talk about, if you're elected president, you have to make major decisions, and you have to make them right away. Right. Priorities are going to be critical. I'm going to give you 5 issues. You tell me which one of these 5 would be your top priority after you're inaugurated on January 20th, if you're inaugurated. Healthcare reform,
right,
energy independence, a new tax code, including tax cuts for the middle class, education spending, or comprehensive immigration reform.
Well,
top priority.
Top priorities may not be any of those 5. It may be continuing to stabilize the financial system. We don't know yet what's going to happen in January, and none of this can be accomplished if we continue to see a potential meltdown in the banking system or the financial system. So that's priority #1, making sure that the plumbing works in our capitalist system. Priority #2 of the list that you have put forward, I think, has to be energy independence. We have to seize this moment because it's not just an energy independence issue, it's also a national security issue, and it's a jobs issue. And we can create 5 million new green energy jobs with a serious program. Priority #3 would be health care reform. I think the time is right to do it. Priority #4 is making sure that we have tax cuts for the middle class and it's part of a broader tax reform effort. Priority #5, I think, would be making sure that we have an education system that works for all children. One thing I want to make a point of, though, the tax cut that I talked about may be part of my priority #1 because I think that's going to be part of stabilizing the economy as a whole. I think we are going to need a second stimulus. One of my commitments is to make sure that that stimulus includes a tax cut for 95% of working Americans. That may be the first bill that I introduce.
We're almost out of time, Senator. We asked viewers in the United States and around the world to send some questions to you. We got one from Martha Amadano of Union City, New Jersey. She says she's an undecided voter who votes mostly Republican, sometimes Democrat. She says she originally supported Hillary Clinton.
As a Cuban American, your plan to redistribute the wealth or spread the wealth around, like you've been saying, scares me. It didn't work with Fidel Castro in my country of Cuba. What makes you think it's going to work in this country?
Well, you know, if she's taking the description John McCain is giving of my plans, then I'd be scared too. Understand, to Maria, what I'll repeat what I've said. If you make less than $250,000 a year, you'll see no tax increase. You'll probably see a tax cut under my plan. If you make more than $250,000 a year, all we're talking about is going back to the tax rates that existed under Bill Clinton. If she was a strong supporter of Hillary Clinton's, then she should understand that all I'm talking about is going back to the tax rates that existed under Bill Clinton during the 1990s when the economy grew. By the way, that's the same position that Hillary Clinton took.
We have one more question from a viewer, Derek Neuner of St. Louis.
I know you've pledged to have a bipartisan administration, but I was wondering, does that include John McCain? After this very vicious campaign, can you consider him a friend, an ally in the Senate, or would you even consider him for a position in your administration?
I would certainly consider any position for John McCain where I thought he was going to be the best person for our country. He and I have had a tough fight, but I think that I certainly have respect for him. I've said that before. He is a leader in his party, the leader of his party right now. I think that he has a history of wanting to work together on some things that I care about, like comprehensive immigration reform and making sure that we are dealing with critical issues like global warming. And so I hope that we can forge a strong relationship to get some things done, get some things moving.
We're out of time, but you know, all of us were moved last weekend when you went to see your grandmother in Hawaii. I know she watches CNN because she says she watches CNN. And she might be watching right now. And I know how proud she must be that you've reached this level and on the verge, potentially, of becoming President of the United States. How emotional is this for you and for her at this moment?
Well, you know, look, she's my grandma, and she helped raise me, and she put off a lot of things in her own life to make sure that myself and my sister, that we were taken care of. So a big chunk of whatever success I've achieved is because of her. I love her dearly, and she knows that. And if she is listening, I just want to make sure that she's getting her rest and hopefully getting better.
And we wish her only the best and speedy recovery.
Thank you so much.
To your grandma.
Great to talk to you.
Thanks very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.